and welcome back to another episode of the Corner of Craft podcast. As I've just said, my name is Hannah. Welcome. We are actually in a corner this time, corner of my craft room / office, which I had a bit of a tidy up and a move around, which is why I'm over here. I had to move my stash because it was over there and my desk is there. I had to move it because whenever I was working I just kept looking at my stash, so I've moved it to the other end of the craft room because one, the lighting is better for podcasts because the window is ahead, and two, I don't keep looking at it while I bead weave and think about all of the things I would rather be doing. Knitting. It's not even things that I would rather be doing, it's just I just want to then cast on all of the projects, so I have to take a step back, move it. Apologies for the state of my hair. I'm in desperate need of a redye and a cut, but I'm currently in the awkward time period before the wedding. I'm getting married next month, and it's come up very quickly. But yes, I'm in that awkward period where if I get it done now, it will look bad for the wedding, so I'm waiting and just letting it look bad now. I don't care that much. I don't get out enough for it to be a problem. The tea I am drinking today is Westcliff Indischer Chai, which is a German brand of tea. I used to drink this all the time when we lived in Frankfurt, but Becky brought some over when she came over last November to help me out at Nottingham Yarn Expo. Or did you give it to me for Christmas / birthday? Anyway, she brought it over last November and I've been rationing it since, so now autumn has hit, I can start drinking it again. So delightful. But it is sat on the floor, which I do know annoys some of you, but not much I can do about that. There is, I could bring in a table, but I'm not going to. And I don't really trust myself putting them on here, really, if I'm being honest. Okay, so it's been about a month since I last spoke to you. Quite a lot has happened, as I'm sure you can imagine. Oh, my name is Hannah. I'm coming at you today from a cloudy and quite chilly Nottingham here in the United Kingdom. If you'd like to follow me on social media, please feel free. I forgot all of my usual spiel. I'm most active on Instagram, I think. Yes, but I've started to use Twitter a bit more, but mainly to read other people's tweets as opposed to tweet anything myself. I just feel like I have nothing important to say. She says as she records herself speaking and filming a podcast, but you know, whatever. I'm currently wearing my knitter jumper, black on black knitter jumper that I bought from the Wool Monty from Stitcher Tees. Because it is autumn. Autumn is here. Now it's been my birthday, we can get excited about autumnal things. Very exciting. So yes, since I last spoke to you, it has been my birthday. I am now the ripe young age of 29. Can you tell? Can you tell that I've aged? I mean, you probably can since, oh, the glare on my glasses might get on some of your nerves. I'm sorry, there's not much I can do about it. I need glasses to see. Yes, so I went to Bristol. Mario and I both went to Bristol. He took me as part of my birthday present. This mug is super cute, by the way. There's a tiny, I don't want to tip it too much because it's quite full, tiny baby sloth at the back here. Yes. We went to Bristol. Mario and I had never been, and we had a really lovely time. If you're interested in seeing more about the Bristol trip, there is a full vlog up on the channel, so feel free to check that out and see all the escapades we got up to. It was also my birthday. We had a bit of a chilled out birthday. It was quite nice because obviously we went away the weekend before my birthday, and then my birthday was on the Tuesday after that. I had quite a low-key day, went out for brunch. It was delightful. And then the weekend after or a couple of days after my birthday, my mum came up because the weekend after my birthday, my sister had organised my hen party. So that was very exciting. There was a scavenger hunt and we did some crafty decoupage workshops, or a crafty decoupage workshop, which was quite fun. And I want to put my bunting up in my craft room somewhere. I'm just trying to think of where to put it. I also have some like embroidery hoops I found. Well, one I got given as a birthday gift from my best friend, which is an amazing one. Another one I bought recently, but I hid it in a drawer and then found it whilst I was tidying up. And then the other one I won in a Tumblr giveaway, I think. eons ago when I used to use Tumblr, but I haven't used that in a while. So yeah, I could put them up around here somewhere. I also think I need a taller tripod because I want it to be taller and tilted down slightly instead of straight on, but or a shorter chair may also work. But I've got it, my chair as low as it goes, and it can't go any lower than that. But yes, my hen party was a lot of fun. And then post hen party was just a bit frantic, but steadily getting back into the swing of things, which I am now actually back into the swing of things now. And I've actually started planning again. Oh my goodness, my mind feels so much clearer. I don't know if I talk, I can't remember, I should watch past podcasts to remember what I spoke about. But since doing Yarningham, I really feel like I've spoken about it in a podcast at some point or on a live stream. I really feel like I've been like, I said walking up a escalator going the wrong way. Does that make sense? I don't know, I feel like I've been like walking through treacle with my business a little bit and my mentality of getting back into the swing of things, because obviously I've been like show, and then all of a sudden the show is done and then I'm like, okay, cool, now just normal again. But I forgot how normal was, so I'm now back into the swing of things with normal, which is really nice. I really enjoyed doing that. Plus sorting out my craft room a little bit. It's still a bit of a mess, but better than it was. So I seem to accumulate boxes because I think this will be useful, and then I send nothing in a box. Yeah, but I've sorted out my stash. So here we've got sweater quantities. Here we've got random skeins that some go together, some don't go together, some are just individual. Here are leftovers in this attractive cardboard box. Here is commercial and pre-caked, pre-wound stuff. Here is DK non-sweater quantities, and here is stuff to give away. And over there I have stuff to destash. It's a good, we got a system going. It's very satisfying. So the shawl I am wearing, because I'm sure some of you will ask, is the springtime fling hotline bling shawl. It's not a hotline bling shawl. Oh, I pretend I'm cooling down with the kids, but I'm not. It's just a granny triangle beso shawl knit in chromatic yarns, which is my own hand-dyed yarn company, in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. And this colour is Dimension Door, which is a spell you can cast to get yourself out of a tricky situation. You and one other humanoid of your size, a willing creature, you can hold on to them and go and get out of danger really quickly, which is pretty useful, kind of like teleporting, essentially, just short range. But yes, and it's kind of just a neutrally base, it's just like the base yarn in all kinds of speckles of neon pink and a bit of charcoaly blacky colour and whatnot. But yeah, I've been trying to sort out my business a little bit. It's been going very well, as in for me mentally. I've been asking some market research questions on Instagram, so thank you everyone who has helped me out with answering those. Merino is a base I need to get in, and so have bought some, and will be getting it in. I also have a few skeins of sparkle, because I don't know how well sparkle will do. It's sparkle with lurex in, because I didn't have great experience dyeing sparkle with stellina. So I'm giving lurex a go and seeing how it goes down. I only bought a few skeins, so if I don't enjoy it, you don't enjoy it. No one loses out, really. I can't get over how bad my hair looks. I usually wear it tied up when it gets this bad. It's just so faded. I haven't dyed it since before the Wool Monty, just for a bit of context. So that is beginning of June I last dyed it, and now it's October, and I hate it. Yes, so that's probably enough rambling. I mean, it's never enough rambling, if we're being honest, because I ramble throughout the podcast, but I hope that you grab your cup of tea. If not, you've made it during that 10-minute amble we just had through my life. And yeah, I hope you're sitting down comfortable with your knitting / crochet in hand. Oh, this is crochet, I forgot to say. I really want to make another one of these out of, where is it? Virginia, look, I actually have a plan for this at last. When we were in Frankfurt, my friend Virginia gifted this to me, and Becky got one too. and it was my first special expensive skein of yarn, ball of yarn, whatever, of yarn, because before that I used mainly acrylic or very cheap sock yarn, as was readily available in Deutschland. And I didn't know what to do with it, and I haven't known what to do with it, but I now know what to do with it. I'm going to make something akin to this, and it's going to be amazing. I'm excited. Right, let's get into finished objects. So, yeah, you may have seen that. Last podcast, I talked about hosting a Speedy Lace Shawl-along, and took too long to come up with a name for it, and said that my yarn hadn't yet arrived, but we were starting it on that day and it was going to run to the end of October, and I really hoped I would get this mammoth shawl finished by the end of October. Well, my yarn arrived on that day, just after I finished filming the podcast. I got a knock on the door and my yarn arrived. I was like, oh, how delightful. So the shawl that I thought would take me 2 months to knit has actually taken me 25 days to knit. I have not worked on it obsessively. I just worked on it casually when I had time. I thought I would hate knitting it completely because it was complicated, and I usually quite like boring knits, but I quite enjoyed this complicated knit, and yeah, let me show you it. Basically, it's ridiculous. So the shawl that I've knit, let's find the top, is the Shawl for an Art Lover by Kerry Westerman, I believe she got married recently and wore this shawl to her wedding. It's inspired by the artwork and architecture around Glasgow, I believe, a place I've never been, but I saw the shawl and fell in love, and I saw that other people had knit the shawl, so I thought, you know what, let me ask the other people that have knit the shawl that I know how they found it and if it's doable in 2.5 months. Let me tell you, it's doable in 2.5 months. Some of you doubted me. I did an Instagram poll and a percentage of you doubted me, but I trusted myself. So the yarn I have used is Rowan Kid Silk Haze, and I'm now going to be itching fluff out my nose for the rest of the thing. Rowan Kid Silk Haze in the pearl colourway, which was the same colour that Kerry knit hers, because I'm a big fat copycat and I'm not ashamed of that. I did think it would be a more creamy colour than it is. It's kind of a more taupey colour. Taupe, definitely taupe, not taupe. So I'm not completely convinced it goes with my wedding dress, but I now have picked up my wedding dress. It's currently sat in the spare room, and I unzipped it and, like, before it was finished, kind of held it up against it and I was like, I think it goes. But I put too much work into it to not wear it, so I'm definitely wearing it anyway. This is my first mammoth lace shawl. It's my first time knitting with just mohair. I did a hat last Christmas that was 4-ply mohair, but this is my first just mohair. It was a delightful experience. Don't look too closely at the first few rows because that's where I made all my mistakes. I was randomly picking up stitches here, there and everywhere to make it work out, and then I, you know, sort it out the next row. But as I progressed, I actually learned how to read my knitting. When I used to watch Kristen Fullenbein, and she used to say about reading lace, I was like, sure, I'll just take your word for it, for you are good at lace, and never actually understood what she meant until I was knitting this and understood what she meant. You can see where the stitches are meant to line up. You can see where the yarn over is meant to go. You can see where it's just meant to be a knit one and not anything else. And you can see where you went wrong eventually, and you can go back and be like, oh, I need to, because on the very final row, the first few repeats, I was like, oh, I need to pick up an extra stitch. I don't know where that stitch has gone. I think sometimes I would drop a stitch as I was purling back along. I'd drop a yarn over and not notice, because why would I? But it's fine. It's finished. I pinned it out to block it and then just spritzed it with some lukewarm water because I didn't want to soak it and agitate it too much. And I can say only good things about this project. It changes often enough so it doesn't feel like a slog. The only sloggy bit is this top section where you have to repeat the chart a few times. I'm not going to say how many. It's a pay-for pattern. It's a really cheap pattern. It doesn't walk you through chart by chart, so if you're a prolific, or if you, I'm not even a prolific chart reader, if you can read a chart, yes, you might use this. This will suit you. I didn't use as much yarn as the pattern states. Mario doesn't seem to understand that that is my own fault and not the pattern's fault, because he's like, why does it say to buy 5 balls of yarn if you're only going to use less than 3? Well, I didn't swatch, and I'm apparently a tighter knitter than Carrie is. And I keep looking at that bit and thinking it's a giant hole. It's not, it's just an obnoxiously large eyelet. I don't know where it is. My bracelet got caught on one of them earlier, so it could be that. Anyway. I love it. But yes, I used about 70 grams of wool, which is ridiculous. It's a massive shawl. It's so big. Da, 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 da. To get up close and personal, not too close because I don't want to stand up and knock over my tea, which is on the floor. Whoop. But apparently this is Estonian lace. I only learnt that from the fact that she taught an Estonian lace workshop at Perth Festival of Yarn, she being the designer. Sorry, that was very rude of me. I love it. I want to wear it all the time, but also don't want to ruin it ever. So I will be saving it for the wedding day and then deciding if I'm going to wear it again or just put it in a box as like an heirloomy piece. I tried to pin little picots at the bottom. They've straightened out a little bit. Oh no, we've got a bit of picoing going on. These little Nupps are fun. I'd never done a Nupp before. Also found it amusing that they're called Nupps, considering I'm knitting it for my nuptials. You're welcome. Also, I would every so often say, "Get your Nupps out" to Mario, and he didn't fully understand what was going on. He very rarely does with my random exclamations. But yes, so proud of this, like ridiculously proud. I'm now absolutely covered in mohair, and I'm worried that I've dipped the end of this in my tea at some point. If not wet, we're all good. But yeah, I'm now absolutely covered in mohair. Shouldn't have done this first, should I? Oh well. So, but yes, even though I finished Speedy Lace Speedy Lace Shawl-along is still going on. It's knit or crochet. At least 2 skeins needed to qualify. You've still got time to enter. There will be prizes because I have them. Yes, I'm just going to pop that up there like that. Delightful. Now I've got a bit more interest going on. And let me put this back on. Yes, you can still enter. There is still time. It ends on Halloween, basically. And then I will contact you via Ravelry to get your address and you can get some mystery prizes out to you, which is very exciting. We do love a giveaway. Plus I've had so much yarn to give away for such a long time. It's ridiculous. Okay. All of my whips are in here, and plus a couple of pom-poms that belong in there. All of my whips are in this bag because they were all downstairs. Where should we start? I mean, while we're talking about wedding knits, I may as well move on to the next wedding knit. Mario somehow managed to persuade me to knit him a tie. I don't know how he managed it, but I finished the shawl in enough time to where I thought, sure, I will knit the tie. So the yarn I'm using is chromatic yarns. It does not have a colourway because I dyed it to match the bridesmaids. But I might bring it to the shop because it's actually a really pretty colour. It's more purple than it's showing, but that's because purple's a pain in the ass to show colour. It's on my sturdy DK base, which is 100% superwash BFL, and I'm knitting the rye tie, which I thought was very apt, seeing as Mario is a baker. It was a free pattern. I can't remember who the pattern writer is, but it was through Pom Pom. It's on Ravelry. It's written for a worsted weight yarn, So I cast on 4 extra stitches and are knitting the 4 extra stitches to add a bit of width. But it's got this fun central double decrease down the centre, and you've got some yarn overs on the side. So to create a salvage edge. I don't know these things. But then you're meant to fold it under and sew it under. I'm really worried that I haven't knit it long enough. I've done the front, and now I'm knitting the back of the tie, which is just 1 by 1 rib for 24 inches. But it's only across 15 stitches, so it's not too bad. But yes. Ooh. To keep me company, I have one of my hand beaded stitch markers. Oh, my nails match. Oh, maybe this can be my wedding nail varnish. Yes, my hand beaded stitch markers, which is another thing that I make and sell, and I'll be showing you more of those later for tomorrow's shop update. But yes, fun central double decrease all the way down with a nice pointed edge, which I hear blocking fixes the fact it curls, so let's hope blocking works wonders. I dyed up, Maria's got 2 best men, so I've dyed up enough wool for everyone to have a tie, but I've given 2 of the skeins to my mum, who is retired and therefore has the time to knit a couple more ties for me. hopefully, because I need to get them and block them. Oh god, the stress. But I wanted to knit Mario's tie, because then at least if it looked crud, then that's my fault. Plus it was nice. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. I can block it longer if worse comes to worse. But yeah, quite an easy pattern, quite enjoyable, easy to follow, easy to memorise. I somehow gained an extra stitch at one point and still aren't sure where, but that's fine. Just missed off a yarn over on the next row when I noticed. So it might not be the straightest thing in the world, but hey, it adds charm. Can't believe how covered in mohair I am right now. Mohair, no problems. Am I right? No? Okay. I'll just be here. Why did I start knitting this row? But yes, I really like this colour. I mean, shocker, my bridesmaids love this colour. But I'm really impressed that I managed to get the colour pretty close, because I bought a dye that I thought would match it, and then I made up a solution and like did a little test of it, and I was like, oh wow, no, that's not the right colour at all. And then so I had to add in some extra bits to get the right colour, and I have. Hooray! My history, my background in creativity, should I say, is not anything to do with painting, therefore I'm not very good at mixing colours. My tie is living in, I'm getting better obviously, but I was just saying that to prove how proud I was that I managed to get something pretty close to the dress I was trying to match it to, or dresses should I say. So this is living in a project bag that was gifted to me by Rachel over at Crafty Historian. Super cute, I love it, it's like perfect and totally my colours, which makes it even better. You will notice that I haven't got an awful lot of extra knitting done. The jumper that I'm working on, which is the Garden Gate sweater, I've maybe knit 1 or 2 rows on it since I last spoke to you. I've barely knit on it at all. Mainly because I've been knitting that, and that's a lot of knitting and it's a lot of stitches. So although it doesn't look like I've done that much, you haven't seen me work on this, so I did quite a lot. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know this. So next up, also since I last spoke to you, my parents have been here actually. My parents were here when I spoke to you last time. And we did the pop-up shop at Knit Nottingham, but I'll talk more about that in just a second. The only reason I was thinking that my mum and dad were here because I was knitting this sock. And I showed you this sock last time, but I can't remember where it was. But I took it to Maria's pizza night on the first Friday of the month, so today. The bakery that Mario works at holds a pizza night if you're in Nottingham, much recommend. And yeah, I knit quite a lot of this then. So this is Chromatic Yarns in the Rage colourway. I've just realised that all of my projects are chromatic yarns and that never happens. Oh well. In the Rage colourway on my sturdy sock base, which is 75-25 superwash, blue face Leicester and nylon. Makes for a nice sturdy sock, as the name implies. So Rage is a characteristic that barbarians have. Barbarian is a class that you can play during Dungeons and Dragons, and Rage is when they go into a fit of anger and get really angry, so they take half damage, which on many things, not all things, otherwise it would be hugely overpowered, but on many things, which is very useful when you're a barbarian and your main attack is melee, which is like one-on-one, boop, boop, boop. I used to boot things on the head when I played a barbarian. But yes, this is just a 3x1 rib sock. I've noticed that it's pooling a bit across here, and I don't know why, because it didn't pool anywhere else. But yes, 3x1 rib. I did 2x2 rib for 15 rows, I think, and then 3x1 for the rest of the body. And I broke this nail, which is why it's so much shorter than all my other ones. It's really sad. I have done a New Depths heel, which is a pattern by my bestie, Becky Sorensen, and is my favourite heel. I adjust how many stitches I increase depending who I'm knitting it for. So for myself, I increase by 6 or 8 stitches total, depending on how fruity I feel. And then for Mario, I either do 2 or 4 stitches, depending how fruity I feel. I think I've done 4 stitches for this one. It's just a really good, easy to memorise short row heel, and I was showing my mum how to do it whilst we knit there, because she also did it. And then, yeah. And then it's now plain on the bottom and then ribbed on the top, and I really want to get this finished. I've only got one done, and Mario said, oh, they're the socks I'm going to be wearing on our wedding. So I guess in all the free time I have, I've not knit at all this week. Not at all. That's not true. I've knit on these, but it's because we went to Manchester and I knit in the car on the way to Manchester. I didn't knit in the car on the way back, and I'm not quite sure why. Just didn't fancy it. But yeah, that was a good 2.5 hours of knitting. I got quite a lot done. But yeah, I haven't knit at home much since finishing that shawl. I've just knit a bit on that time. I'll show you why shortly. I'm sure you can guess. There's a shop update tomorrow. I've already mentioned it. That's why I've not been able to knit that much. Sorry, the camera, because the camera's just a point and shoot camera, not a video camera, it cuts out after half an hour, otherwise it has to pay more tax or something. I don't fully understand. But yes, that is living in my Bertie and Poppet dragon bag that I bought at Yarn Shop Day. I bought that Yarn Shop Day. Bertie and Poppet is a Nottingham based bag maker. If you're in Nottingham, Eleanor of Knit Nottingham has some in her shop, so it's one place you can go get them, or you can buy them directly from Jill on her Etsy shop, which is Bertie and Poppet. But I thought these dragons are so cute, and then it's got whoom, fiery flames inside, and I thought it was very apt for D&D themed socks to be in a dragony, but I'm so covered in fluff. I think this is, oh, that bit was especially annoying. I think this is the flaw with the mohair trend, is that now when people do podcasts when they've knit with mohair, they then spend the rest of the time like picking bits of fluff off them the whole time, which I'm sure annoys some people, but I'm pretty open to whatever. My final current whip, except for the jumper that I'm not showing you because I haven't worked on it since last week, but I'm working on the Garden Gate sweater, also not completely in chromatic yarns, so I don't feel as bad. But this is chromatic yarns. So this is a sock that I am in the middle of the row of. One moment, please. Please hold. This has probably happened because I've knit this on the bus and then had to get off the bus. or I had to stand up for someone on. No, I tell you what, I was knitting on the bus and then someone who needed the seat more than me got on the bus, so I had to stand up on the bus. And then obviously the knitting goes away because standing up is far more important. I cast these on to knit at Knit Nottingham for their birthday. This was the colourway that I dyed especially for their birthday, which is called Birthday Cake Golem. I was hoping to have myself a pair of birthday socks, but this is the first one. I knit the heel, I knit the full leg and the heel by the end of the day of me being there. And then I've barely picked it up since, so this has just taken over my life. But yes, Birthday Cake Golem is kind of something I made up, but at the same time not something I made up, because when I googled it there was a picture, so I was like, taken, done, because I wanted something birthday cake themed. And then there's a Dungeons and Dragons one shot that someone has designed where it's set in a bakery and there are cake golems, so someone was like, how about a birthday cake golem? Yes, so it's just meant to look like cake with sprinkles in. Amazing. I have chosen a very lightly speckled skein myself because I wanted just a very few speckles, but some of them were heavier on the speckles because more is more, you know me, more is more. But the sock pattern I am knitting is the Vanilla Souffle sock by Christy of Yarn Cafe Creations, and it's a really fun sock pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's very easy to do. I'm hoping that it stretches out a bit because it looks very small, especially in comparison to the sock I'm knitting for Maria right now. But it's plain on the back and the pattern's just on the front. It's a really easy to memorize pattern. I was able to do, I mean, in hindsight I should have just chosen a plain sock, but the fact that the back is plain I think helps a lot, because I was able to talk to people and socialise and whatnot, be my best crafty self, sell my wares as it were, all while knitting it. So that's, I mean, it can't be that difficult if I'm able to multitask that much. The only problem is that I at least have to look down every so often when I knit one of the rows in particular, which is actually the next row, so I'm just not going to keep knitting. But that's okay, that's fine. But yes, I will hopefully be having some of this in the shop. I need to order some more sturdy sock because I've only got 2 blank skeins left, which if you're a big yarn dyer that probably sounds horrendous, but I'm only a small. But yes, super fun, and I do want to dye some more up for the shop because I know some of you asked for it and I've just been busy. But yes, I will be bringing it even though it's not my birthday month anymore. But that's fine, it's someone else's birthday month, my sister's for example. But yes, really fun pattern, love the yarn. And I've got my other little dragon. I made myself 2 dragons to wear at the yarn shows I did this year to wear as earrings. So this is the second one, the second little dragon. I did have a sloth on it, so I'm not quite sure where the sloth went, but maybe I thought the dragon went better because of the turquoise. I sometimes switch out my stitch markers depending on my mood. That is living in my Van Gogh Exploding TARDIS bag that was made for me by Bernadette of the Coffee and Craft podcast. So thank you very much, Bernadette. I love that bag so much, I use it so often. And I forgot to show you the little guy that I've got hanging out on my Rage sock. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry, that's an awful sound. I have a tiny owl. Come on, focus on the tiny owl. Please focus on the tiny owl. I need to show the people the tiny owl. Tiny owl. I randomly sing if that hasn't been made abundantly clear. Oh, my elbow, that really hurt. That serves me right for being too flamboyant. Oh, okay, acquisitions. It's been my birthday in case I haven't mentioned it 10 times already. So I bought some stuff. Should I have done? No. Did I need to? No. Are they now buried at the bottom of my very perfectly organised stash? Yes. How annoying. Okay. Please don't fall, please don't fall. So I bought 2 each of these, but I'm going to get one out because the next ones are buried behind them. I talked about this in my Bristol vlog. I bought this from Alternate Universe, which is a yarn shop just outside of Bristol. She currently doesn't have this available online, but maybe she will in the future. And I've since been told that the colourway names, I don't know if this is the mohair. If it is, this can be really sad because I've got a sweater's quantity with mohair in. I'm hoping the fluff has just got in my mouth. Yes, that the colourway names are Wonder Woman themed. It could also be because I haven't spoken this morning before just now, except when Mario left for work and I shouted down the stairs at him to have a good day, because that's what I do every day, even when I'm half asleep. Oh, that was an obnoxious angle my elbow was at. So this is called Sculpted from Clay. This is called Steve Trevor. I still don't know who Steve Trevor is. But they are both recycled yarn, which means that the yarn comes from cones that Kim is given or buys that have maybe been long forgotten about, and then she puts a few skeins together because they're from cones that are meant to be used for knitting machines, so the yarn is a bit thinner, but she puts a few strands together to get various thicknesses of yarn. So I bought 2 50-gram skeins of sock yarn. She says it knits up a bit thicker than sock yarn, but I was thinking, well, I'm going to knit a 2-colour shawl from this, but I was thinking it would be great to use for the shift, is it the shifted night shift? You know, all of the shifty Andrea Mowry patterns. She's not shifty, that's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You don't need me to explain myself, otherwise I'll just be digging myself into that little hole that I don't need to dig myself into. But yes, that's going to be a 2-colour shawl. I can't remember what it's called, but I've got the pattern. It's by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I was also going to use these 2 skeins that you can't see for one of them, so maybe I'll do that too. But I was going to gift that one, but I won't say who to. Oh god, the collapse of the world. The next thing I purchased, I posted about on Instagram when the dyer posted about them, and I was like, I think I need these. Do I need these? And then I didn't buy them, and then I went back 2 days before my birthday and saw that they were still there, and I was like, well, fine, it would be rude not to, let's be honest. Boom, kablam, shapow. That's not a sound. Well, it is, but it's not a legit one. So these 3 skeins are all Faded Woods by Debbie of Down Sheepy Lane on her BFL bamboo base. So it's 80% Blueface Leicester, 20% bamboo, 400 meters per 100 grams, and this is going to be some kind of jumper. And I'm thinking about pairing it with the leftover balls of fluff I have from this. We'll probably need to pick up a couple more. And knit either 2 options. Spellman sweater, it might be too jazzy. If I decide it is too jazzy, then I'll use this gorgeous yarn that Dunder Knit, aka Caroline of Dunder Knit, and the Knitting by Kirsty podcast, so generously gifted to me. I might use this for it because it's a bit plainer, and then this will become a no frills. We have options, but it's going to be glorious no matter what it is. I'm really excited. I just need to finish off some more jumpers, i.e. the other jumper that I'm currently knitting, before I can get into that. The final acquisition that I have. So we went to Manchester, and then we, oh sorry, receipt noise. Went to Manchester to see a gig actually on the Tuesday night, and we went to see Volbeat, who are a very Danish metal rock and roll band, which is not a description I thought of to describe them until I read it and thought that's the perfect description. Yeah, they take a lot of influence from like rock and roll music, but make it a bit heavier, so I very much enjoy it. It was a fantastic show. I definitely have a t-shirt, wore it yesterday. I love it. I love the lead singer. I didn't know I did, and then he walked out on stage with a big beaming smile, and I was like, oh wow, you're quite an attractive man. Sorry, Mario. like anything would happen. Anyway, so obviously had to go and see the Countess in all of her glory. So I went to Countess Ablaze. You can't go to Countess Ablaze and not buy anything. Now I need to stop birthday spending because I have enough yarn. I got super overwhelmed by all of the yarn that I have, and then felt so much better just moving it from one place to another. I don't know why. Yes, this is in the colorway How to Survive on her Grande Merino DK, which is 100% superwash extra fine merino. DK weight 115 grams is 225 meters, so it is quite a thin DK. But I reckon I can get 2 hats out of this. That's the goal anyway. Because I picked up a colour that was actually very similar to this one that I have. I almost bought it and I was like, I have one that colour at home. So I went pink because I don't have pink yarn. That's not true. This is, you can't see it, can you? Barely. This is very pink. And this has pink, and this is a bit pink. All of the pink yarn I have has been gifted to me. This is pink. Or it's a sample. Yeah, all the pink yarn I have has been gifted to me. And that's not to say that I don't like pink yarn. Oh, this is quite pink. But it's not fully pink. Anyway, I bought this because it's pink. My hair is rarely pink. This is the thought process that I had. So the colour that was originally going to knit is colours that my hair usually is, and I was like, this pink skein is really nice. It's quite pink. I don't have anything like it in my stash. I can get 2 hats out of it, so one might be for a Christmas present for someone, and yes, the other one's for me. Clink. I just need to knit a bit quicker, don't I? Really? Just need to get this tie done, this ruddy tie. Why did I say I would knit a tie? But yes, really, I like it. Now I can go on my DK shelf. Hello, your new home. Hope you enjoy your stay. I think that is everything I have for actual knitting and stuff that I've bought. And if you don't mind indulging me for a few moments, I'm going to be talking about what's going in the shop on tomorrow. Good English me. Some of you may hate me right now. Not right now, but in a second. Because it's only just turned October, which for a lot of you is peak spooky season. The spooky season is upon us. Oh, I said, I don't, blah, my mouth felt weird saying that. The spooky season is upon us, but I'm really, really sorry. Tomorrow is going to be my first Christmassy, festive update. Reason for this: I'm getting married in the middle of November. I'm then taking a week off because I'm going on a mini honeymoon after the wedding. This is peak Christmas selling time then, because people are buying things to, you know, get ready for Christmas and blah blah. I did really well at planning my wedding around my business, can you tell? So I'm getting an early start on it. And somebody commented and said it's actually really good because for people that are planning to do advent calendars for friends, knitty friends, it's actually perfect. So thank you so much for making me feel better about that, because I did feel super guilty. But also you can use a little Christmas stitch marker on when you're on the projects that you're knitting for gift knits. So I still feel a bit bad, but not too bad. So here are some of the stitch markers that I have going in the shop. This is everything that I've made so far. I don't think I have time to make too many more by the time that I've edited this, but maybe I will. We shall see. I still need to photograph some of these too. So first up we have a little pink and turquoise gingerbread house. These are all on, I'm sorry that my nails don't look too great, I'm really bad at painting my nails. Lever back earring wires, so you can use them as both stitch markers and as progress keepers, and great for knitting and crochet, for they're removable. They are made by, if you haven't watched this before, they are made by sewing beads together one by one to create the shapes, which makes them super durable. at least bendy in one direction. Oh, come on, focus. Yeah, so super durable and lightweight as well. If I may demonstrate on my lace weight shawl. If you were to hang a chunky stitch mark on a lace weight shawl, as many polymer clay ones are, or even metal charms can be super heavy, it drags the stitches down. But here is this, oh no, it's not spinning. Here is this guy. Here is this guy on my lace weight shawl. It's not pulling on the stitch at all. It's not dragging anything down. It's super lightweight. And not too bulky either. So, I mean, I'm obviously completely biased because I make them, but I use them all the time. As you can see, I've just happened to have these on projects. I haven't purposefully put them on projects, but I mean, I could be lying to you, but I feel like I gain nothing from that, so I'm not lying to you. Cool, so while we're talking about gingerbread houses, let's go for the traditional Rouge et Vert gingerbread house. I forgot the colour for green in French then, that's embarrassing, it's my degree. Once again, super cute. I have one of these that I made last year, that one of the beads was a bit wrong, so I managed to keep it. We've got Tiny Father Christmas with a 24 karat gold plated belt buckle. As you can see, Father Christmas has some bling, billing. That's a new design from last year's. We have this little guy, snowman. Once again, going with the pink and turquoise. I don't know if pink and turquoise are Christmassy colours, but I seem to associate them with Christmas in my mind. I think maybe just because they're on a snowman. And then we've got red and green as well. I love how cute these look, and they're all bundled up in like a giant hat and a big old scarf. They're amazing. I love them. So the shop update is tomorrow at 4 PM English time. I'll say it again at some point. So this is a snowflake with a black background for maybe a bit of a gothic Christmas, or a snowy night, I guess you could also go on. But I also have a red snowflake for apparently a, I don't know, Christmassy snowflake. It's a bit of a deeper red than the Father Christmas red. If I may demonstrate les deux. You can't see. Oh yeah, you can. It's a bit of a deeper red, which is quite nice. Final snowflake of the trio are purple snowflakes, and I've used like a pearl finish white bead for the snowflakey bit. It's a bit of a shiny one. You can't really tell. Cool, thanks me, really good. Now some of you, I asked on Instagram what stitch markers some of you wanted to see. I like to take requests, so we also have some non-seasonal stitch markers in the mix. But some of you have obviously watched Caroline of Knitting Vicariously's last podcast, because I was asked a few times if I could bring back the Starbucks red cup, which, I mean, it's not Starbucks cup, let's get that straight. But yes, some of you have obviously seen her podcast and wanted them, so I've made a, oh, let's try and get this to focus on here. Made a few of these. The red is like an iridescent red as well, just to make it a bit more festive, and it's got like its cardboard sleeve. I'm trying to take some of the shine off. It's difficult to tell. There'll be better photos in the listing, but it's just to give you an idea. I also have Tiny Penguin with Christmas present, because everyone needs a festive penguin in their life. Let's be honest, festive penguin. And someone asked for a candy cane sheep, so I have made a few candy cane sheep. I wasn't sure about it, and then I asked on Instagram what you all think, and you all loved it, so candy cane sheep it is. Yeah, it's pretty cute. Cute and festive. The last two wintry stitch markers I have are these mittens. So I've got this turquoisey mitten with just white and a little snowflake and cuff, like a floofy cuff. And then same design but in navy with that pearlized white again. Like a nice cute little colourwork mitten. And then I had some requests for Ladybirds, so I obviously had to bust them out. You do love the Ladybirds, they always sell quickly. I also have had a few requests for the Flower Crown Sloth, even though Flower Crown season is nearly gone. Although, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, I take that back. You are just coming into Flower Crown season. Hooray! And then finally, I have a grey cat, because I was explicitly asked to make a grey cat. Whoop. Oh, got quite achy arms doing that now. God, I need to get back to the gym. But, I mean, I've made multiple of each. I haven't just made one of each. That is why I've not been able to knit much this week, because I've just been beating my little heart out. It's been quite enjoyable, if I'm being completely honest with you. But yeah. If I get time to photograph my D-stash will also be coming tomorrow. If I don't, then it doesn't, and that's okay. Shop update is tomorrow at 4 PM BST, British summertime, London time, GMT +1, because the clocks haven't gone back yet. Yes. So please be sure to set an alarm if you want to get your hands on any of those, because they go quickly. I do what I can to keep them in the shop, but I can't work miracles. Oh, such a tickly throat after wearing the mohair. Does this mean I'm allergic to mohair? Please tell me that this doesn't mean I'm allergic to mohair. Please just, I mean, I have thought for a while that I'm getting a cold. Let's pretend it's that instead. It's much nicer to pretend it's that instead. Please be that instead. So coming up, we don't have an awful lot coming up. I mean, our wedding. So just generic wedding prep, really. Mario has his stag do. I know what he's doing, where he's going. He has no idea. So that is quite exciting. I did almost tell him the other day accidentally, but didn't. Yeah, really. I'm not really bad at keeping secrets. I was about to say I'm really bad at keeping secrets. That's a lie. I'm not. I'm really good at keeping like really important secrets, but then arguably a surprise stag do is quite an important secret. I know. What else is happening? Not too much. Got D&D on Sunday. One of my friends is coming back from Australia, so I'm meeting up with him next week. And then my new yarn hopefully will be coming in, so I can get dyeing some of that if some of you, and hopefully a bit of a shop update next week of the yarn, of the yarns. Other than that, I think that's about it. Oh, I've got these little cedar blocks everywhere. I'm so paranoid about moths, so I've just like put them everywhere. Yeah, good times. They smell really good though, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed the podcast. Please let me know what you're knitting on, or what you're knitting, what you're working on, what you're crocheting, what you're making in general. I also love to know sewing projects, all the craft. Let me know. Leave a comment down below. I love the social interaction that we have going on. It's just real nice. But yes, if you'd like to follow me on social media, as I said in the beginning, please feel free. Links can all be found in the description box below. It's a direct link, so you can just go down and click. Feel free to thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, because that way it shows me that you enjoyed it and also helps to spread my name further across the YouTube sphere, which is always a nice thing to do. Also feel free to subscribe. I post a new podcast sometimes. I'm really trying to get back into it, and pretty sure I will be participating in Vlogmas this year. I've already got quite a few exciting events happening in December. I mean, it's very exciting. So you might want to be subscribed to that if you find me endearing. If you hate me, then, you know, no pressure. I'm impressed that you managed to get this far in the video if you hate me, but sure. Feel free to turn the notification bell on as well. That way you'll be notified on your device when I upload a video. That way you don't miss them. And sometimes I live stream. I need to do another one soon. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Your support truly means the world to me. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon in my next video. Bye!